Hey, welcome, gadgies. Yeah, we just not long finished the stream, and then I thought I can't sleep quite yet, so thought I'd do a video. Now, this video is about an hour long, so I'm not going to talk much through it. It'll be more of a watchy video. I'm sure I'll have a few things to say. But you remember we did the movie Gangs in New York a couple of weeks ago? Well, this is about the actual true story of Gangs in New York, the actual 5 point slum that was actually used in the movie Gangs in New York with Leonardo DiCaprio. As you can see, I did a little background, and it's the deceased bunnies instead of the dead rabbits, because of the movie. So I call myself Deceased Bunnies. Did a background to go with it. Again, guys, it's early hours in the morning. It's like 4 hours in the morning to me. I haven't got my camera. My camera broke last night, so it's just my avatar. Sorry, so you got an eye full of me and Vicky. Sorry about that. Yeah, I know I'm the pretty one, and it's hard to look at. Yeah, I'm only joking. She's the pretty one. Anyway, let's get on with it. The channel I'm talking about is this one. It's called Who Remembers, and I think I've done it once before, like a nostalgia type thing, things from the 80s, like tech from the 80s or something. But let me just quickly show you. So there you go. It's called Who Remembers. I will put his link in the description. The one we are doing is, where is it gone? It's about 4 months ago. There, this one right here. The one right in the middle, second in, that actually looks like Daniel Day-Lewis from the Gangs in New York, because that's the picture they used, and maybe AI did. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, but this channel seems pretty good. It's got lots of nostalgic stuff. I'm gonna have to go through it. Mostly American, but through TV and stuff like that. Obviously, I know a bit about America. Be nice to see some British stuff on there, but I think this is mostly American. But it's all good. It's all good. So, Gangs in New York. Let's have a look at it. The actual video itself. Like I said, it's about an hour long. So I'll try not to say much through it, and it's something for us to watch. I'll put it out as a premiere. It's something for you to watch. So, okay, let's do it. I just thought it'd be interesting, and I'll do something else. I end up going to the shop, and I thought, I'll do a little video. But it ended up being an hour video, so it's probably going to take me an hour and a half to do this, and then put it out. But I won't be at the premiere. I'll just put it out. Anyway, let's do this. Let's do this. So, yeah, I downloaded it. So it's easier for me to control from in here. So let's do it. Surviving the 5 points. Life inside New York's most notorious slum. Let's do it.
Points. Life inside New York's most notorious slum. Welcome back to Who Remembers. Today, we're going to dive into a chapter of New York's history that's both haunting and incredibly remarkable. Join me as we uncover the mysteries behind the infamous 5 Point Slum, especially the area known as the Bend on Mulberry Street.
Wonder why they call it 5 points. Obviously, it must be like 5 streets meet at 1 point or something like that. But I'm trying to look at 5 points there. So that would be, that's 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point. 5 points. Yeah, of course, because you've got street across the road from it. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I see it. I see the 5 points. Got it.
Where thousands of people fought relentlessly to survive. Get ready to turn back time with me, to explore a world filled with violence and chaos, but also a place that became the cradle of tragic tales and extraordinary resilience. 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, 5 points, even draw pictures of it. I mean, it's similar to the one of the pictures that's on my thumbnail for this. So cool. 5 points, New York's most notorious spot. Now, like I say, guys, I won't be saying too much. I don't know nothing about it. It's just an interesting topic. We did the move the other week. Obviously, it was based on actual events. Loosely based on true story. Obviously, the places there, the actual gangs were there, you know, but obviously movies do their artistic thing, you know. Let's do it. Like I say, I won't be talking too much through it. It's just an interesting thing that I'll be sitting here watching with yous retrospectively.
New York's most notorious spot. 5 Points wasn't just a simple location on a map. It was a scar, a harsh testament to New York's rapid development. The name 5 Points has a very specific and visual origin. It came from the intersection of 4 main streets, Anthony, Cross, Orange, and Little Water, forming a total of 5 points or street corners. What made this area so unique, and the root cause of its urban disaster, was its unique geographical location. Built on a low-lying area, which was formerly Collect Pond.
Right next to a pond. Good for the old fishing. Good for the old drowning. I'm only joking. It's a gang thing. I'm not in a gang. We used to think we were in gangs as kids, you know, 18 boys and B-team boys and that. And we used to put like mud on our face, pretending it was war paint and stuff. You know, try and make calling signals like noises. So like if you're not in your immediate vicinity of your teammate or whatever, or your comrade, you know, you did you screamed out your call. Madness. We were like ninjas as kids. Love it.
Collect Pond wasn't just a small puddle. It was a natural freshwater lake that once played a crucial role for a New York City in its booming development phase, providing a plentiful source of clean, drinking water and fish, a precious resource for the city's residents. However,
that's what I was saying. Yeah, you get your water and you get fish there. Yeah, excellent.
New York's rapid growth, coupled with a lack of long-term planning and environmental awareness, pushed Collect Pond into an alarming state. As industrial businesses began to proliferate along the lake's banks, especially slaughterhouses and tanneries,
Oh, great.
the lake water became severely polluted by all sorts of organic waste and toxic chemicals.
Livers, hearts, gristle, bones, all the ways. Awful. Literally, not awful, but awful.
The clean water gradually disappeared, replaced by a foul, unusable liquid mass. In the early 19th century, facing uncontrollable pollution and the threat of epidemics, the city authorities made a seemingly logical decision at the time: to fill the pond. However, this landfill project was carried out carelessly and without proper
Plenty of ponds filled in my time because they're so minging.
technique. Instead of dredging or thorough treatment, vegetation and waste were buried directly under the landfill. As a result, as this buried vegetation decomposed over time, it created a large amount of methane gas.
I was going to say, and nowadays in places like that, they have big conduit pipes stuck into the ground to release the methane.
Along with this, the drainage system in the area was extremely inefficient, leading to frequent flooding, land subsidence, and transforming the entire neighborhood into a muddy, foul-smelling mire. The stench was so horrendous that many residents, especially the wealthy or those passing through, had to breathe through camphor-soaked handkerchiefs to endure it. This clearly shows the terrible extent of the living environment's degradation and pollution here. These horrendous living conditions and the rapid deterioration of the area forced the economic...
Camphor like menthol, like a liquid they put on the cloth or whatever. It's like a menthol. I'll have to check that because I've obviously heard the word, but I'm not sure. To me, it sounds like something you'd inhale, some kind of vapor that would obviously stop you smelling the rot, the decay.
economically privileged middle and upper classes to flee, abandoning 5 Points. This left a void, transforming the area into a compulsory dwelling for poor immigrants who had no other choice. From the 1820s to the 1840s, 5 Points officially became New York City's most notorious slum, even known as one of the most infamous neighborhoods in the entire Western world. The formation of 5 Points serves as a harsh and profound
So, Canva, Canva is a misspelling of camphor, because I spelled it wrongly. Now, a waxy white substance with a strong penetrating aroma that comes from the wood and bark of certain trees or is made synthetically. So the wood or bark of certain trees, the sap in that kind of smells mentally. So I'm taking it, it's a bit like that. Got it.
Reminder of the devastating consequences that poor urban planning and disregard for the environment can have on a society. 19th century New York was undergoing a period of rapid development. In this context, merely filling a polluted lake instead of addressing the root cause of the pollution was just a temporary solution, a surface cover-up that failed to tackle the underlying problem. The act
Same as nowadays, the council, instead of fixing the roads and the potholes, just fill them in with cheap tarmac. And then the potholes get bigger and they come out again and get more potholes. Instead of just skimming it and re-laying the road because they're cheap.
of burying vegetation under layers of
1800s, 1700s, 1800s. Same problems back then as there is today.
Earth inadvertently created a ticking time bomb of stench and disease, turning the area into a truly inescapable trap for the poorest. These were the people who had no other choice but to seek shelter there, in an environment where even breathing became a challenge.
Wow.
However, 5 Points
That's
did
nice,
not remain in that state forever. By the 20th century, the 5 Points area was heavily
Look at that. That looks like a decent photo. I don't know if it's a real one. I dare say it is. Looks like a real one, that one. But, you know, some AI ones look real nowadays as well. But that looks pretty cool. I like that. That looks like one, two of the points, three of the points. Maybe. Okay.
redeveloped. Today, a significant part of this area has become New York's Civic Center, an important administrative hub. This area now includes iconic structures like New York City Hall and One Police Plaza. Meanwhile, much of the remaining 5 Points has been incorporated into Chinatown.
All right. Interesting. Shops, Chinese shops, then plumbing shops next door, which is Chinese also. Wow. So there was a lot of Oriental shops back then as well. I suppose they had emigrated as well over there. Wow.
One of the largest and most famous Chinese neighborhoods in the world.
Well, of course, Chinatown. What am I even thinking of? Of course, Chinatown.
This historic and tumultuous neighborhood, in 2021, the intersection of Worth and Baxter Streets was officially renamed 5 Points. This was a symbolic gesture, both to commemorate the area's painful past and to affirm its incredible transformation.
Good.
This change demonstrates the urban regeneration and recovery capabilities, transforming a symbol of decay into a vital part of a modern, dynamic city. Life in the 5 Points slum. Life in 5 Points was a vivid, yet also incredibly painful and grim picture of extreme poverty. The tenement buildings where people...
the movie Gangs in New York got kind of the streets in that good. They got that did that quite well design-wise. Obviously, there was a lot of people like kind of living in cavey type places or underground type places. I haven't seen that here yet, but it looks good. It looks good. I don't mean this looks good. This looks real. Obviously, I meant the movie looks good if it's comparing itself to this type of thing.
People were densely concentrated, were terribly designed. They were overcrowded, extremely poorly ventilated, and often lacking windows, making the air stuffy and oppressive. Not only that, but these buildings were also known by another terrifying name: fire traps. The reason was the extremely high risk of fire due to flimsy building materials and a severe lack of safe escape routes.
Again, all the cheap routes, all the cheap ways of making things. Not much had changed.
Once a fire broke out, residents had almost no escape, leading to horrific tragedies. In such a
Cowboy jobs all over the place, you know. Like I say, people are cheap. They always try and get the cheapest way to do something. Minimum input, maximum output. You know what I mean?
harsh living environment, dangerous epidemics like cholera, measles, diphtheria, and typhus broke out frequently,
Right.
almost continuously. This was a
Probably me, but was injected into society by a certain never mind.
direct consequence of extreme overcrowding and abysmal sanitary conditions. Children, in particular, were the most vulnerable and heavily affected. The child mortality rate in 5 Points, especially in the Bend area, reached a horrifying figure, up to 68.2% of all deaths in a typical block in 1882. This figure was significant.
Wow, 68% was people. Wow, not good. So easily infected, I suppose. Being young and their immune systems being new and, you know, hadn't had much work to deal with.
Significantly higher than the overall New York City rate at the time, which was already 46.2%. This is clear and heartbreaking evidence of the harshness of.
You know, that kind of reminds me when I was a kid, though. That's kind of mad, that is, because it really does. It kind of reminds me when I was a kid and our mum's not went and put out the washer. We lived in tenement kind of buildings, not high rises, but it was like 3 floors high. It was like a big old house, but it was 3 floors high near the landing. But obviously, it was separate flats, but looked like a big old house, big old granite buildings, three floors high. But in the washing on outdoors on the Wildebads like that, but also from window to window in some cases, not as cluttered as this, not as ample amount of clothes as this, but I've seen clothes going from window to window before. It doesn't seem that long ago to me. Obviously, it's like 40 odd years ago, but it's crazy. It's crazy that people still did this, but not anymore. You don't really see this anymore unless you go to another country. I don't know.
Of life there, showing that the buds of hope were the first victims of this toxic living environment. The alleys in 5 Points were dark, filthy, overflowing with trash, grime, and all sorts of waste. The foul odor and filth became an inseparable.
Again, not much changed. Nothing, no change. Is this Hebrew in the windows? I think it is, isn't it? Yeah, because look at the name. Kaminowitz. Is this an AI pick? Yeah, because I mean, a name like Kaminowitz, like come in the shop, maybe like a joke. Come in or wits. And does it mean come in the shop? I don't know. But it looks like Hebrew to me.
Part of daily life. One resident once uttered a haunting phrase that revealed the desperation and the need to find oblivion in alcohol. If you live in this place,
they all got bloated drunk, and I bet you there was Kakwani going about in them days. The old Kakwan. You know what I'm talking about? The old Bolivian marching powder.
you will ask for whiskey instead of milk.
Ooh.
This statement wasn't just despair. It was a survival strategy
There you
where
go.
alcohol
Look at that. And then the movie Gangs in New York. Wow. Very similar. Very similar. They did well, I think.
became the only means to cope with the persistent pain and squalor. Fortunately, in that grim context, there were still individuals who stood up to fight for change. One of them was Jacob Reese, a Danish-American social reformer and photographer.
Did he, or was it just a pretense? I don't know. I mean, I don't know who the guy is. Just let's not judge PJ. Let's not judge before you hear anything.
He made immense contributions to improving the
I'll leave it playing anyway. I'm going to go and grab a coffee.
sanitary conditions of New York City in general. As a police reporter, Rees used pioneering flash photography, a breakthrough at the time, to authentically and vividly document the horrifying scenes of life, the dark corners within the slums in the 1880s. His most famous work was the photojournalistic book titled How the Other Half Lives, 1890. This book ruthlessly exposed the terrible living conditions of the poor to New York's upper and middle classes, who had previously ignored or were unaware of this reality. Rees didn't just write, he showed the truth. His authentic and devastating photographs struck a powerful blow to the conscience of the upper classes, forcing them to confront the reality they had tried to avoid. Rees considered the Mulberry Bend area, also known as the Bend, one of the centers of 5 Points, to be a giant pigsty of humanity. In his notes, he detailed life in the dilapidated, damp shacks deep within dark alleys like Bandit's Roost and Bottle Alley. The streets were always noisy with the cries of street vendors, offering all sorts of food of questionable quality. In those dark alleys, people lived crammed together in extreme squalor, lacking all basic amenities. Rees firmly believed that dirty houses make dirty people, a view emphasizing the link between living environment and human dignity. He also noted another interesting social reality.
I mean, it wouldn't have been easy to keep cleaning out them days, to be honest. Everybody all crowded in one place. You know, even yourself. Because the water wasn't clean anyway, was it? So, I don't know.
Women here often handled all the heavy, arduous work like carrying firewood and vegetables on their heads, while men often sat or stood on the streets, smoking pipes and arguing. Rees was not just a reporter, he was a true social activist. His work created a powerful wave of reform, demonstrating the extraordinary power of exposing the truth to drive positive social change. 5 Points was also a cultural and racial melting pot, a unique convergence point for many different immigrant groups. Initially, it was a settlement for newly emancipated African Americans after slavery officially ended in New York on July 4, 1827. Alongside them were Irish immigrants seeking a new life in America. Later, a large wave of Irish Catholics, famine refugees from their homeland, flocked to 5 Points in the 1820s to 1840s. Despite many underlying tensions and conflicts between African Americans and the Irish due to cultural differences and circumstances, their coexistence in 5 Points is considered the first large-scale instance of voluntary racial integration in American history. This was a unique social phenomenon at the time, showing how the compulsion of circumstances could lead to unexpected forms of integration. By the late 1840s and 1850s, Italian immigrants also began to flock to 5 Points, and the Mulberry Bend area gradually became the center of New York's iconic Little Italy neighborhood today. These immigrants, though from different cultures, all faced...
I bet that's where the mafia kind of stemmed from. The Italians coming over back then. I think we actually did see something the other day on that, didn't we? Or did I see it myself on another video? Because that rings a bell. That rings a bell. But yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's where the Italian mafia started when they came back in. So, like, you had your gangs in New York, because they were all immigrants anyway. There was gangs that were immigrants. There was the natives, you know, all that kind of thing. The police, the fire brigade, all that kind of thing. It's gangs. So yeah, every immigrant, it was immigrants coming over, forming gangs or gangs or going away to war. You know, so why wouldn't Italians come over and form a gang? It just so happened to be the most famous gang, one of the most famous gangs ever. You know, even to this day, they're still going. We know that. It's so weird doing without a camera, not seeing myself gesticulate. Anyway.
Faced a harsh common reality: fierce prejudice and discrimination from the police, local officials, and other strata of the broader New York society.
Right.
The police often treated them as second-class citizens, and local officials often ignored the terrible conditions in the area. This made self-organization and the creation of internal communities an essential survival mechanism for them. Although at times this very self-organization led to the formation of gangs and criminal organizations, it was also how they found mutual support and protection in an intolerant society. The diversity of 5 Points was both a source of cultural strength and a cause of social conflicts. What about the transformation from a place described as a pigsty of humanity to a park surprises or impresses you the most? Cultural contributions and the truth about crime. It might sound absurd to say that one of the world's most notorious slums, a place riddled with poverty and crime, could be the cradle of a unique art form.
See the sewage pipe going in there, though? That's a good thing. A very good thing. I mean, a big old conduit pipe there. It's got to be a main line wastage pipe.
But believe me, this is absolutely true, and one of the most interesting, surprising things about 5 Points. This area might just be the birthplace of tap dance. The hypothesis is that
The birthplace of tap dance. I wonder why. That's interesting. Let's see what's going to say.
American dancers in 5 Points observed the lively Irish jig and then adapted it to their own style, creating.
So it probably started from like a river dancey Irish thing, and then they ended up doing a bit of tap. So it came from the Irish. Ooh, yeah. And the jokes about the Irish about the Irish being stupid. No, look at it, man. Tap dancers. Fair play.
A unique blend of foot sounds and improvisational movements. Tap dance isn't just a dance, it's a powerful testament to human resilience, the ability to transform hardship and deprivation into artistic inspiration. The fusion of the Irish jig and complex African-American rhythms created an entirely new, revolutionary art form, laying the groundwork for many later dance and music genres. Artist William Henry Lane, dubbed Master Juba, or King of All Dancers, emerged in the 1840s with an early form of tap dance at
Just that position.
Club.
Dance is more like flicking out the front of their feet and jumping about and hands straight down by their sides, which kind of looks like he's doing a little bit, but yeah. Wow. Well, looks more like an Irish jig than tap dancing. Cool.
This club was located at 67 Orange Street, right in the heart of 5 Points. Almack's, which is now Columbus Park, also played an important role in the development of the music hall genre, a diverse form of theatrical entertainment, and is considered a predecessor to later music genres like jazz and rock and roll. This shows that even in the harshest environments, creativity and cultural expression can still flourish powerfully, creating an unexpected and meaningful legacy that shaped American culture for decades to come. The reality of the gangs. Although Martin Scorsese's film, Gangs of New York, dramatized the level of violence and nature of gangs for cinematic effect, the existence of criminal organizations in 5 Points was very real, and they played an extremely important, largely dominant role in the life of the neighborhood. The appearance of gangs in 5 Points wasn't just isolated criminal acts. It was a direct consequence of a neglected social environment where the law and government support were almost absent. In such a world, gangs became a spontaneous form of government, providing a sense of belonging and protection for members.
See, gangs became a part of government. You know what I mean? Or even formed government. How can that be appointed by God?
especially
Let me just hear it again. Let me just take it back. 10, 15, 16 seconds. There we go.
related criminal acts. It was a direct consequence of a neglected social environment where the law and government support were almost absent. In such a world, gangs became a spontaneous form of government, providing
A form of government. But yes, they had their hands in politics as well. You know, so they became a form of government, a lower form of government under the government. Still not put. I still don't think government's put there by God. Maybe back in the day, but if it was like everything when man's involved, man corrupts. It would have been corrupted. And like Basil was saying the other day as well, if you do have to submit yourself to the governing authorities, fine. If we have to submit ourselves physically, okay, because just say like the police come after you. Yes, you can run, but eventually they'll catch you and they'll forcibly take you anyway. So you might as well submit, you know what I mean? But spiritually, no. I will not submit myself, like Basil says as well, will not submit myself spiritually to the governing authorities. Without a doubt, not. Physically, yes. Spiritually, no. Anyway.
a sense of belonging and protection for members, especially discriminated immigrants, without a voice. Roach Guards. This was a famous Irish gang that emerged in the 1820s. Initially, they were formed to protect liquor merchants.
Sorry, what were they called? Roach Guards.
A sense of belonging and protection for members, especially discriminated immigrants, without a voice. Roach Guards.
Roach Guards, yeah. Well,
This was a famous Irish gang that emerged in the 1820s. Initially, they were formed to protect liquor merchants from other gangs or robbers. However, over time, the Roach Guards shifted to more serious criminal
so it's people who extort people. Extortionists.
activities, like
Not contortionist, extortionist.
robbery and murder, becoming a real threat in the area. Dead Rabbits. This was a splinter faction from the
Hey, that's my splinter faction. My splinter. Yeah, look, they're dead rabbits. We're the deceased bunnies. So, Dead Rabbits is the one that Liam Neeson was in the film Gangs of New York, and then Leonardo DiCaprio, once it got outlawed, came back and inlawed it again.
Roach Guards themselves, and they became particularly famous, strongly portrayed in the film Gangs of New York. The Dead Rabbits frequently clashed with the Bowery Boys, another gang composed of native New Yorkers with anti-immigrant stances. The confrontation between the Dead Rabbits, representing Irish immigrants, and the Bowery Boys, representing anti-immigrant natives, was a clear testament to the simmering racial and social tensions in the city at the time. These weren't just ordinary street fights, but battles for territorial control, resources, and a display of power by each faction. The Dead Rabbits had their distinctive symbol. They often paraded with a rabbit nailed to a pole as a display of defiance and identity. The Bowery Boys, meanwhile, had their own style with red shirts and stovepipe hats. William Poole, Bill the Butcher. He was the leader of the nativist Washington Street Gang, a gang composed of Native Americans with xenophobic tendencies. Later,
Billy the Meat Hacker.
His group merged into the Bowery Boys. Daniel Day-Lewis excellently and terrifyingly portrayed this character in the film, bringing a vivid image of a brutal gang leader. Although the film depicts Bill the Butcher dying in an epic gang battle, in historical reality, he was killed in a theater, a less dramatic death but still reflective of the underworld's danger. The portrayal of Bill
in a theater, a bit like Abe Link. Did he die in the theater? Or was he shot in a theater? Something like that? Or theater or opera or something.
Bill the Butcher in the film, despite historical inaccuracies regarding his death, still captured the
Well,
brutal nature and
that's how
extreme
movies. I mean, yes, of course. In the movie, they're going to make it more dramatic, obviously. So in real life, he got killed in a theater. Well, you know, in the movie, loosely based in real life, they're going to take artistic license, isn't they? And have a bit more of an exciting ending.
personality of gang leaders of that era. Smaller gangs. Beyond the big names, 5 Points was also home to many smaller gangs, each with distinct symbols and traditions to assert their identity.
See,
For example,
when I was a kid, even though we were doing gangs jokingly, it wasn't to beat each other up. It was just to be in a gang and a crew. It was more a crew than a gang, but we did that. We did like paint their faces with mud, like I said earlier, had a call sign, had a call noise, that type of thing. Passwords, stuff like that. Crazy. It's obviously stems from the gang ideas. That's the gang times, not gang ideas. We get the ideas from the gangs. That's what I meant to say.
the short tails were known
Got
for
the
walking
idea.
around with untucked shirts, creating a unique style.
There you go.
The YOs, on the
So like, yeah, it kind of even reminds you, like later on, where it kind of develops into music, like gangs, like mods and rockers, Lambretta, green fishtail dudes, and rockers who had like coffee hair and leather jackets, Mental.
other
Okay.
hand, had a unique way of announcing their presence, with an owl-like whistle, creating mystery and fear. The diversity and complexity of this underworld show how each group sought to assert their identity and presence in a fiercely competitive environment. Major riots. 5 Points witnessed many major riots, authentically reflecting the deep social and political tensions simmering and erupting in New York City. These riots were not isolated incidents, but the eruption
It's actually from the Gangs of New York film, this footage here.
of accumulated social pressures in a society riddled with inequality and division. Dead Rabbits Riot, July 1857. This was a 2-day and 2-night civil disturbance that erupted from a seemingly
Fighting and looting and rioting for 2 days, man. Nuts, innit? Nuts. You got to eat, you got to sleep, you don't get none of that. You're gonna have to eat something and have a fistful of oats or something, I don't know.
minor street brawl between the Dead Rabbits and the Bowery Boys. However, this brawl quickly escalated, attracting the participation of around 800 to 1,000 gang members. They looted and vandalized property extensively throughout the city, turning familiar streets into chaotic battlegrounds. To quell this large-scale riot, New York authorities had to mobilize 2 regiments of the New York State Militia, along with police squads, and they primarily resorted to using batons to beat rioters. The consequences of this riot were 8 people killed and about 30 to 100 others injured.
Wow.
The 1857 Dead Rabbits riot clearly showed the inability of the authorities to control gangs and maintain public order. The need to mobilize the
Gang, Gucci gang. No, that's not me.
military to suppress it demonstrated the severity and chaos of the situation. New York City draft riots.
I started doing this video, I'm tired, which is good. By the time we get to end up, I'll be able to get to sleep, which is, wow, it's only 20 minutes in. It's got 40 minutes to go. Let's just get on with it.
1863. This riot, though not exclusively in 5 Points, saw significant participation from some Dead Rabbits members. The main cause of the riot was fierce opposition to the new law conscripting men into the Union Army during the American Civil War. This conflict was also the climax depicted in Scorsese's film, showing its impact on history and popular culture. The draft riots highlighted the deep anger of the poor working class, including many immigrants, towards a military policy they considered unfair, where the rich could pay to avoid conscription while the poor
And they get off the boats and they have to go straight into the army unless they can pay out. Straight to one unless they can pay $300 or whatever, which back then nobody had except the rich. So, it was set up in a way that they had to go war no matter what.
could not. These riots are not just dark chapters in the city's history, but also important historical lessons about the consequences of neglecting social issues and class division in a developing city. The rise of the 5 Points Gang. In the 1870s and 1880s, a group of Italian Americans rose and became the neighborhood's most notorious criminal organization, known as the 5 Points Gang.
That's
This group was known
that was a pic I used in my thumbnail. I got on Google Images.
for its brutality and astonishing level of organization. The founder and organizer of the 5 Points Gang was Paul Kelly, whose real name was
Okay, nice name. So his real name is Paolo Antonio Vaccarelli or Vassarelli or Vaxarelli. Let's say Vaccarelli.
Paolo Antonio Vaccarelli.
Vaccarelli, yeah.
Initially, the gang had many Irish members, but later, the number of Italian members significantly increased and became dominant.
They kind of starting to look mafia-ish. Certainly is.
Even more remarkable and shocking is that these young gang members later became notorious crime bosses whose names resonated worldwide, shaping the history of organized crime in America. Among them were illustrious names like Al Capone, Charles Lucky Luciano, Johnny Torrio, and Meyer Lansky.
Never heard of this.
The brutality of the 5 Points Gang became legendary, but even more astonishing
The only one I knew there was Al Capone.
is that they trained some of the most formidable figures in American criminal history, who later built vast criminal empires. Beyond just street crime, Paul Kelly and his top lieutenants also sought to deeply infiltrate New York politics. They financially contributed to election campaigns, intimidated voters to secure votes, and even participated in ballot stuffing to support their candidates. Just like in the film Gangs of New York, this group collaborated closely with Tammany Hall, a powerful Democratic political machine at the time. The cooperation between Paul Kelly and Tammany Hall showed the complex and terrifying intersection between the underworld and politics, where gangs provided muscle and votes in exchange for protection and political influence. This reflected a painful reality in society at the time. In an environment where legitimate opportunities were severely limited, organized crime could become a path to advancement, even to power. Although Paul Kelly survived a shootout in 1905, this event is considered the beginning of the decline of his power and influence. Eventually, mafia gangs, a more structured form of criminal organization, gradually took over most criminal activities previously controlled by the 5 Points Gang. The rapid rise of the mafia was strongly boosted by the Prohibition Act in 1920, a period when the illegal liquor trade became a lucrative business, ushering in a new era for organized crime in America. The decline of the 5 Points Gang and the rise of the mafia, especially with the impetus of Prohibition, completely changed the criminal landscape in New York, creating a legacy that endures to this day. Do you believe historical films should strictly adhere to facts, or is some fictionalization acceptable to tell a more engaging story? Legacy and the transformation of 5 Points.
No, I mean, for a film, it's okay if as long as it tells you about it. But if it's a true life story, it's not good to embellish. You want the facts, simple as.
Today, can you believe that one of the world's most notorious slums, once a symbol of decay and violence, could almost completely vanish and change so astonishingly? Today, 5 Points no longer exists with its old, dilapidated streets.
I mean, you can still see the shape, but certainly modernized. No more dong pipe.
Many streets have been renamed or completely removed from the urban map. Specifically, Anthony Street is now Worth. Cross Street has been renamed Moscow. Orange Street is now Baxter. And Little Water Street no longer exists. This infamous slum was systematically demolished in 1892. In its place stands Columbus Park, a peaceful green oasis in the heart of bustling New York City today.
Right.
The demolition of the slums and their replacement with parks wasn't just a mere renovation. It was an effort to rebuild from scratch, erasing a painful past. Seward Park was also created in 1901.
Man, look at that. I mean, that's a big old park, but I mean, look at the buildings. I like seeing things like that. I mean, yeah, it may be slum or whatever, but it's nice to see old buildings. You don't see anything like it nowadays. It's all crap, flat face, blooming concrete, high-rise towers. It's all grey, all plain, no character. Just like myself.
Contributing to creating more green space
like
for
myself, no character. Sorry, I'm just dying.
The area. The formation of Columbus Park, right in the center of Old Five Points, is a powerful symbol of urban rebirth, an effort to transform what was once a symbol of decay into a useful green space for the community. Surprisingly, even during its darkest period, Five Points' bad reputation inadvertently turned it into a tourist attraction of its time, a form of dark tourism. Wealthy upper-class individuals sometimes had to be accompanied by police for safety in order to witness firsthand the squalid, terrible conditions they were fortunate not to experience.
Right.
This act reveals the curiosity and, at times, cruelty.
Like that pic there. That's ace. That's ace. I mean, that's a slab. It's a slice at history that can't be revisited except in photos and maybe passed down stories, because nobody alive now has got that memory. All those people who died that could remember this looking back on, And there's nobody alive there that would remember this passionately, look back and actually remember it. Mad,
of a segment of society towards what was happening in Five
Points.
Points.
History, buddy.
Famous author Charles Dickens visited Five Points in 1842 while researching his book, American Notes. He was deeply shocked by the horrendous living conditions there and recorded his impressions. He described the area as a world of depravity and misery, filled with unimaginable filth.
A world of depravity and misery. Well, that's very optimistic, isn't it? Not cynical pessimism, more like.
Filth and garbage. Charles Dickens's report wasn't just a travelogue. It was a powerful indictment of social injustice and terrible living conditions in New York, helping to spread Five Points' notorious reputation worldwide beyond America's borders. The transformation of Five Points from a giant pigsty of humanity into a peaceful park is a powerful symbol of urban rebirth. It was an effort by the city government to erase a painful past and build a better future for the area. Although the old streets are gone, the story of Five Points remains an integral part of New York's history, a lesson about human resilience and the importance of responsible urban planning. Five Points is a complex, tragic, yet incredibly important part of New York City's history. It is a vivid testament to the harsh challenges poor immigrants faced when seeking a better life in America. However, it's not just a story of suffering, but also a story of human resilience and incredible recovery. The people here struggled to survive, to find hope, and at times, to create art even in the harshest circumstances. While the film Gangs of New York brought this area global fame and somewhat dramatized the events, the truth behind it is far richer, deeper, and more emotional than what we see on screen. It's the story of a violent underworld, but also the birthplace of unique dances, talented artists, and where major figures in American criminal history got their start.
And
We hope this historical journey of discovery has given you deeper insights into 5 Points and the people who lived, fought, and shaped history there. In the 1920s, dental care at home was a necessity for many, as access to professional dentists was limited.
dare say there was many dentists back then, not for free anyway. You'd have to pay a fortune for them, which would be a penny or something.
People often relied on rudimentary tools and the assistance of family members to perform extractions or treat toothaches. This do-it-yourself approach highlights the stark contrast to the advanced dental practices available today. A group of young surfers from the 1920s is seen holding heavy wooden boards, a far cry from today's sleek, aerodynamic designs. These pioneers embody the adventurous spirit that shaped modern surfing. Elderly women in Bosnia during the 1930s and 1940s bore distinctive Croatian Catholic tattoos.
They still wear those. Oh, I don't know about the tats, but they still wear those headscarves and that type of clothes.
Symbols of cultural and religious identity passed down through generations. These markings often served as protection against forced conversion or persecution during turbulent times. In the 1940s, the face and skin warming mask became a curious beauty device of the era.
What's that got to do with the gangs in New York? Weird.
The Onabu geisha were fierce female samurai of Japan who fought alongside men. Skilled
I see now.
in the use of the naginata, a light and sharp.
Wow, we're literally halfway through the video. 50 minutes. Wow, 50 minutes. So what if this video could be 2 hours long. Wow.
Sword, they defended their lands and families with remarkable bravery. In 1940, a young girl sits among the ruins of her bombed home in London, holding her doll amidst the devastation.
That picture says 1,000 things, man. Doesn't it just? That's crazy. Holding a doll on a ruin. Places dilapidated. Looks like it's been hit by a bomb, brick line everywhere. There's certainly a hint of depression there and sadness. Shame.
In June 1962, photographer George Barris captured a series of striking photos of Marilyn Monroe, whose blonde beauty.
Sorry, I have to correct you there. Norma Jean Baker.
And star power shone through. However, behind her radiant smile, Monroe struggled with deep personal turmoil, tragically passing away from an overdose on August 4, 1962. The actress you're referring to is Lyda Borelli, a notable American film actress of Ukrainian origin. She was popular in the 1920s and 1930s in both the USSR and Europe, as well as in the United States. Borelli was known for openly acknowledging her Ukrainian heritage, often mentioning that she was born in Kyiv in interviews, which made her one of the few Hollywood.
Is that how people pronounce it? I call it Kiev. Okay, Kyiv? Weird.
Actresses at the time to embrace her origins publicly. Steve McCurry's famous photograph of Sharbat Gula, a 17-year-old Afghan refugee, was taken in 1984 at the Nasir Bagh refugee camp in Pakistan. This iconic image of Sharbat, with her piercing green eyes, became a symbol of the Afghan struggle during the Soviet-Afghan War. It was prominently featured on the June 1985 cover of National Geographic, capturing the resilience and hardship faced by refugees during that time. McCurry's powerful photo remains one of the most memorable and recognized images of the 20th century. By the mid-1940s, Lana Turner had become one of the highest-paid American actresses and one of MGM's biggest stars. With her glamorous image and compelling performances, Turner's films grossed around $50 million in today's dollars, securing her place as one of Hollywood's most iconic figures during the golden age of cinema.
Equivalent of after this. Sorry.
The Willys MB, mass-produced from 1941 to 1945.
A little army jeep made to go on tracks. That's cool. That's really using your initiative.
By Willys Overland Motors for the Allied forces during World War II, became the iconic Jeep. Known for its ruggedness and all-terrain capabilities, the Willys MB symbolized resilience and adaptability, earning a reputation for being able to go anywhere and do anything, both during the war and in civilian use afterward. Tank Man, the unidentified protester who defiantly blocked a column of tanks on June 5, 1989, became an enduring symbol of resistance during the Tiananmen Square protests. In the
Hold on, Tank Man. I'll go back. Because this, Tank Man, not you're going to see anything here. Let's get rid of me. Mandela effect. I'm sorry. Here, the tank stopped. I remember him getting mashed up. I remember people talking about it and him getting mashed up. Let's play it again.
Both during the war and in civilian use afterward. Tank Man.
There you go, Tank Man. I remember him getting mashed up. But it's not going to show you here, but the tank actually slowed down for him.
The unidentified protester who defiantly
got killed, as far as I remember. He got squished up.
Blocked a column of tanks on June 5, 1989, became an enduring symbol of resistance during the Tiananmen Square protests. In the 1930s, traveling in comfort meant using a swamp cooler attached to your car window. This ingenious device, which cooled air through evaporation, was a must-have for beating the heat. It remained popular until the 1960s, when built-in air conditioning became standard in cars.
Because, I don't drive yet, but when I do, I will have an aircon without a doubt. Well, obviously it comes as standard, but if it was a choice of, if you did have that choice, no, always aircon. They invented it.
In the 1930s, scientists Winthrop and Luella Kellogg raised a 7-month-old chimpanzee named Gua alongside their 10-month-old son, Donald, for a cross-raising study. Jacob C. Miller survived a gunshot to the face during the American Civil War.
He's got a hole in his head? Wow. How did he survive that? That must have pierced his brain, man. He's got a big hole in his skull, look. There's a gaping wound in his knackered dome. No danger, stranger. You should have been a Power Ranger.
War in 1863, but carried an open wound for the rest of his life.
No way.
During World War II, a Polish unit adopted a bear named Wojtek.
An open wound right to your brain piece. Right to your brain piece.
Known for drinking beer, smoking cigarettes, and even having his own rank and serial number, Wojtek became
I wasn't born when it first happened, but I remember seeing clips of these things before when I was a kid.
Beloved and memorable figure in the unit. At the start of the 20th century, Chicago was infamous for its high crime rates, which worsened after Prohibition was enacted in 1920. The ban on alcohol created a lucrative black market, leading to the rise of powerful smuggling gangs and notorious gangsters, such as Al Capone, who profited from the illegal alcohol trade. Dorothy Counts made history in 1957 as the first black girl to attend an all-white school in the United States, facing relentless mockery and insults from her white classmates at Harding High School in Charlotte, North Carolina. Despite the hostility, her courage became a symbol of the civil rights movement. The iconic 1932 photo, lunch atop a skyscraper.
I was watching a video about that the other day, about where they actually sit in there with that distance to the ground beneath them. And some people say because there's a platform in the corner and you see it, they're literally above a platform, but that's in the background, definitely. I don't know. Let's see if we can see the platform. Take me away, because it's in the bottom left where my avatar is. See if we can see it.
Shows 11 workers casually eating lunch on a steel beam, hundreds of feet above the ground during the construction of Rockefeller Center in New York.
Hold on. It transitioned just as it was coming into view. Let's have a quick look again. Oh, well, I went way back.
Symbol of the civil rights movement. The iconic 1932
Let's have a look.
photo, lunch atop a skyscraper, shows 11 workers casually eating lunch on a steel beam, hundreds of feet above the ground during the construction of Rockefeller Center in New York. Colonel Harland David Sanders.
You can barely see it in this one. It doesn't go on long enough.
The real-life founder of Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, began selling fried chicken at his gas station in Kentucky in the 1930s. The iconic character of Colonel Sanders, now the face of KFC, was modeled after his persona.
Nice.
In the 1930s, Chicago was a hub for architectural and urban innovation. One notable example was the development of the car elevator system, which reflected the city's forward-thinking approach to solving urban space constraints.
Wow.
These car elevators allowed vehicles to be transported efficiently between levels in buildings.
No way they used to have that. And they don't even have that now. I mean, to have that now is a new thing that they're doing, like in Japan and all that. Parking your cars in that way. Wow. That's amazed me. Wow. Honestly. I'm stunned. I'm stunned. I mean, I don't think we had that over here. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't alive back then. I wasn't thought of, but you know, is this a Mandela effect, like Black Tom? You know, I don't know. Black Tom event. What the heck?
Revolutionary concept for urban living and infrastructure at the time.
No.
In 1912,
Seriously,
a scientific
no.
test.
No. Somebody tell me that. Somebody say something in the comments. Try and either back me up or tell me that these definitely did exist. Those car lift things. What? Somebody say something in the comments if they know. Please.
Of a new rugby helmet was conducted, showcasing safety measures that were far less advanced than those we use today. This iconic 1967 photo, titled The Kiss of Life, shows electrician Randall G. Champion performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation.
Oh, thank goodness it's mouth-to-mouth resus. Thank goodness it's mouth-to-mouth resus. Because otherwise, this picture is a little sus. Thank goodness for that.
On his colleague, J.D. Thompson, who had been electrocuted while working.
You sure they just didn't get caught kissing? You know what I mean? And that was their excuse. They thought nobody was around. They were the only one up the telegraph poles.
On a power pole in Jacksonville, Florida.
Power pole, sorry, not telegraph.
Champion's quick action saved Thompson.
Telegraph poles to do with your phone lines and stuff like that. But, you know, for some reason in Scotland, we still call them telegraph poles. Even though they have got electric lines, we still call them a telegraph pole. And we call a telephone line pole a telegraph pole too. You know?
Life.
Wow.
In 1969, Neil Armstrong made history.
Doing what? Doing what? Lying? Made history lie? No, that doesn't make history, because lots of people lied beforehand. But maybe it made history because it was a huge lie. You know? Neil Armstrong, stepped on the moon, he did. Apparently, allegedly. Yeah, right. Okay, whatever.
As he returned to the lunar module after taking his iconic first step on the moon.
You mean his 100th step in a studio with dusty grit or whatever they used, sand or whatever? No. Didn't set foot in the moon. How can you stand on a light in the sky? Not a rock. I'm sorry.
Marking a monumental achievement in space exploration. Lily Henoch's remarkable story begins.
Space exploration? What you mean? You can get out of this enclosed flat plane, level plane? Huh, weird.
With a tragic plane crash in 1931, after which she was mistakenly declared dead and taken to the morgue. Miraculously,
Wow.
she was found alive, but in a coma.
I've heard of that before. People being buried, and somehow being found out to have been alive and getting dug back up, exhumed back up. Not exhumed because, you're not dead, but, exhuming the body when it's dead, come digging it back up, but just so happens to be alive. So I don't think it should be called exhuming then, should it?
Her resilience saw her not only recover, but return to athletics, culminating in her team's victory at the 1936 Olympics, an inspiring testament to
36. Wow, so my dad was born, and if he was alive, he'd be 89 right now. Wow.
her indomitable spirit. In the 1930s, China, young girls endured the painful practice of foot binding, a tradition nearly a millennium old.
Foot binding's awful. Oh, I've seen it before. The toes go down the side of the foot. They try to get small feet, bind them up because that's what's classed as attractive over there. And their toes go down, they're all squished together and they go down one side in like a linear pattern rather than around the front of the foot. I wonder if it'll show us.
This custom, aimed at achieving a socially idealized lotus foot, often caused lifelong disabilities, reflecting the extreme cultural pressures placed upon women.
Oh, it's awful. Ooh.
In September 1980, a job tradition.
I'm not going to show you properly, but you could see that a foot was pointed. Oh, what?
Held by men due to labor shortages caused by World War I.
Not nice.
In 19...
Again, guys, sorry about the camera thing. Sorry you can't see my pretty face, but, at least you can see my still face with Vicky's still face there.
1946, in Romania,
I will get a camera a bit later on today.
Bear was used in an unusual method to relieve back pain. Cheryl Brown made history on June 13, 1970, by winning the Miss...
Cheryl Brown, she looks like Janet Jackson a little bit. No, Michael Jackson's sister, youngest sister. She looks like Janet Jackson.
DEA pageant, beating 19 white competitors to claim the title of Miss Iowa.
Not so much from the front, but still a little bit. More from a side profile, but a little bit from the front. Definitely side profile.
She became the first African-American contestant to compete for the Miss America title in 1971. The photograph, taken by Lewis Hine in the early 20th century, depicts a young girl working in a textile factory.
I was going to say, is that a textile factory? Because it looks like either a tapestry type thing or rug weave, something like that. It's a loom, a big loom of some sort, anyway.
Shedding light on the brutal realities of child labor during the Industrial Revolution in the United States. The image serves as a stark reminder of the harsh working conditions children endured during this time. On March 14, 1951, Albert Einstein, on his 70th...
Demonic Einstein, with the old tongue out, the old mocking tongue. Disgusting. Disgusting. Why? What's it doing sticking out your mouth? You look like a blooming alien. Get that thing back in your gob, man. Disgusting, dude. Disgusting. It looks as bad as my feet with the psoriasis on it. Looks like you got psoriasis on your tongue. Stop. Put it back in your mouth, Gudgy. All I can say to that is that mixed with that. Yeah, not good. No. There we go. Sorry, messing about.
His second birthday was photographed surrounded by paparazzi as he left the Institute for Advanced Study in Princeton, New Jersey. Irritated by the press, the world-renowned physicist responded with a playful gesture, sticking out his tongue, creating one of the most iconic photos of the Nobel laureate.
Idolic, more like.
Bolaji Badejo, a 6 feet 10 inches Nigerian design student, portrayed the terrifying xenomorph in the 1979 sci-fi classic Alien. His towering height and graceful fluid movements added an eerie realism to the creature, making the alien
with the guns in New York, the 5 points. This has gone way off the 5 points. What? This is way off. I've just realized this has gone way off the guns in New York 5 points. And that's fine by me. I'm going to continue with it. Whatever. It's something to watch. Anyway, it's 37 minutes in. 38 minutes in. We've got 22 minutes to go.
One of the most memorable and horrifying monsters in cinematic history. In the 1920s, women's bathing suits were strictly regulated, and
I'm all over the place in a minute, but it's intriguing me.
If they were deemed too short, women could face fines. This was part of broader societal efforts to enforce modesty standards.
Fines, if you think, oh my goodness, that's so bad. What if it was a millimeter too short? Say you put on a tiny bit of weight and it crawled up your butt a little bit. You got fined? Disgusting.
Standards, reflecting the era's contrasting attitudes toward personal freedom.
Fine you for anything, man. Yes, fine. Okay, it's in Christ, yeah, we like to say dress modestly. Fantastic. But things happen where your dresses pull up a bit and stuff. You can't get fined for your dress being short. That's ridiculous. That's a police state if you're doing things like that. Checking the... Wow. I could rant about that, but I shan't. I'll continue.
And social expectations. The 1899 photo, considered the first ever taken underwater, captured a groundbreaking moment in the history of photography.
I was not realizing the background, though.
Bonnie and Clyde, the infamous criminal couple of the 1930s, became legends during the Great Depression. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow's crime spree, which included robberies and murders, captivated the American public.
Watched a few films about him. They became legends, guys. Legends.
And left a lasting mark on history. On April 5th, 1976, Ted Landsmark, a black lawyer, unknowingly walked into an anti-busing protest in Boston. The crowd, enraged by racial segregation, attacked him, and the incident became a significant moment in the city's history. In the 1910s, a baby takes its first steps inside a wicker structure while the mother does...
Okay, but what has this still got to do with the gangs in New York thing? Or has it just moved on from that? But no, you can't... Oh, well, that's what it said the video is about. Okay.
Laundry. In the 1940s, Margaret Gibb receives a kiss from her boyfriend under the watchful eye of her conjoined twin sister, Mary.
They're not conjoined there. They're not conjoined there. The dresses are joined there, but they're not conjoined. They're miles apart unless they're joined. If they've got fat asses and they're joined at the ass piece, at the bum cheek. No, they're not conjoined unless it's someone acting them. Not they're not. It's just a dress that's conjoined.
The twins were inseparable in every sense.
Yeah, we'll get them a new dress. Get them a dress each then. Sorry.
The historic flight of Orville and Wilbur Wright in 1903 at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina,
I don't know
marked
what's
a
going on.
pivotal
I'm
moment.
interested in all this stuff. It's cool. I like it, but I don't know what it's completely gone from the 5 points. I'm all good with that.
In aviation history, as their successful flight of the Wright Flyer became the first sustained
Just have to put it in the title and various other things,
powered flight. This achievement established them as pioneers in modern flight and made their names synonymous with the birth of aviation.
Okay. Yeah, the Wright brothers.
A famous 1920s photograph captures legendary boxer Jack Dempsey, left,
Yo!
playfully punching illusionist and stuntman Harry Houdini, center,
Nice.
while another boxing great, Benny Leonard, right, holds Houdini. This moment was part of a publicity event that brought together these iconic figures of the era in a fun and lighthearted display.
Nice.
The Agbada Mas, or Mungbidiki, from the early 20th century, symbolizes the powerful warrior tradition of the Igbo society, showcasing elaborate
No, it's a demon.
attire worn during important ceremonies. Tito Puente, the legendary percussionist and Latin jazz band leader.
Now I am confused. Unless it's going to say all these people were ancestors of, on line of people that were in gangs. I don't know.
Was a key figure in the Latin music scene.
Still
In the
interesting.
1940s and 1950s, he was part of a select group of Cuban percussionists who migrated to the United States to contribute to the growing popularity of Latin jazz.
Right.
In 1928, the world's largest horse was officially registered,
Yo!
captivating audiences with its towering height and remarkable stature.
The size of that Shire. Is it a Shire?
This giant of the animal kingdom was a true marvel, drawing crowds wherever it appeared, and
I have seen that before. Wasn't there questions whether this was real photo or not, though?
standing as a majestic symbol of nature's extraordinary potential. This stark reality of human endurance parallels The Face of War, a haunting painting by Salvador Dali created in 1940. Dali's work vividly reflects the fear and devastation of World War II, embodying the horrors and emotional scars left behind by conflict.
Dali's great, man.
In 1930, Paris hosted the Miss Beautiful Eyes contest, highlighting the charm and expressiveness
Okay, I'm kind of confused. But let's continue.
of the eyes, a highly valued trait.
Okay.
In the 1940s, a man performs maintenance mid-flight on a small plane, reflecting the daring nature
Friend of the person who did this video knows that it went from guns in New York to random information throughout America's history.
of aviation during its early days, where risky actions were part of the routine for pilots and engineers. In the 1930s, a police sergeant known as Ghost stands holding a wooden replica rifle in one hand and a baton in the other.
Yeah. What does that mean?
Lyudmila Pavlichenko
Okay, what
was a
does it
Soviet
mean, though?
sniper during World War II, credited with 309
Just telling us what these things are. It's not elaborating. Okay, fine. That's even better.
kills, though some estimates suggest the number could be over 500. She
Cool.
remains one of the most successful female snipers in history.
Nice.
The 1934 film Two Monks, original title Dos Monjes, directed by Juan Bustillo Oro, is a notable piece of Mexican cinema. The film explores complex themes of religion, love, and psychological conflict, set against the backdrop of monastic life. It became a significant entry in Mexico's golden age of cinema, known for its dramatic narrative and technical achievements. The 14th Dalai Lama, Tenzin Gyatso, as a child in the late 1930s, shortly after being recognized as the reincarnation of the Tibetan spiritual leader. In the photo, he sits in front of a Buddha statue, symbolizing his future role as Tibet's spiritual guide. The atomic bomb explosion over Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, was captured in a historic photograph, with a similar image taken following the bombing of Nagasaki on August 9, 1945. Radio broadcasting surged in popularity in the early 1920s, following advancements from World War I. Weekly music broadcasts began in 1919, and by 1922, over 500 stations were broadcasting daily. Over a decade earlier, in 1958, Elvis Presley, already a global music sensation, was serving in the United States Army. Drafted into military service, he spent part of his time stationed in Germany, where his presence continued to...
When my dad was stationed in Germany when he was in the army back in the 50s, probably the same time as Presley.
...capture the world's attention. Jack Bonavita, a celebrated lion tamer and animal trainer of the early 20th century, captivated audiences with his daring performances in New York's circuses. Known for his remarkable bond with his lion...
I'm convinced now it's completely gone off the Gangs in New York thing into the 5 points. It's just gone into random photos and pics and American history and films and telling you what and who and when and how. Well, not so much how, but when, who, what.
Lions. His career ended tragically in 1917 when one of his animals fatally attacked him.
It happens.
This 1970 photo captures one of the models who personified Uncle Sam.
If you work with dangerous wild animals like that, don't ever get too complacent, random. Never. And I don't work with animals, but I would never get complacent around a wild animal like that. Never.
Sam, the enduring symbol of a
dude who went to live with the bears. You know, he'd known them for years and years and years. Then one night, boom, took him. Yeah, can't remember his name. I think we've done a stream on him before, or done a few clips or whatever.
American patriotism. With his iconic hat, white beard, and star-spangled suit, Uncle Sam became a rallying image during World War I and World War II, inspiring citizens to support the nation's efforts. A woman wearing a full-face swimming mask designed for sun protection.
Sun protection. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, what? Wow. I hate the sun on my skin, and I would not go that far. That's mental. That's so mad. That's funny though. It's funny. Let me zap this forward and see what happens. Oh, let's see that. Because I'm kind of all right. Okay, I'm actually going to leave it there because I think I know what this one is. This is meant to be a cross.
This is the last recorded photo of a thylacine, or Tasmanian tiger.
Tasmanian tiger, yeah, I've seen this before. So it's not a cross, but I've seen this before.
In 1933.
This
unique creature, now extinct, once roamed Australia and Tasmania.
Look at the
On October 14th, 1940, a 500-pound bomb struck Balham Underground Station in London during World War II. The bomb penetrated about 30 feet underground, exploding above the passageway between the station.
I'm going to let it play another 6 minutes, and I'll get it to an hour and a half. And because it's just giving us random facts now, it's gone off the topic. So, yeah, and it's long enough. I mean, it's an hour and a half, so I'll just, whatever it shows is in the next 6 minutes.
2 platforms. This tragic event, part of the Blitz, resulted in numerous casualties. In 1921, Deputy Commissioner of the New York City Police, John A. Leach, was photographed in uniform
Prohibition.
overseeing the disposal of alcohol seized during a prohibition
Yeah, no doubt. So easy to spot those photos, prohibition times.
operation. This image captures the government's efforts to curb illegal alcohol distribution and enforce prohibition laws, which remained a significant challenge throughout the 1920s. The last known photo of Nikola Tesla, taken on January 1st, 1943.
Wow. I've seen this photo before, but did I know it was Tesla? I'm not sure. Wow. Crazy.
Captures the eccentric inventor who, despite his groundbreaking inventions, died penniless and alone.
Penniless?
Tesla's contributions to science and technology continue to
didn't Edison rip him off and all that, or try to hire him but not pay him enough? I don't know.
influence modern electrical systems today, yet his life ended in obscurity. In the 1920s, Los Angeles featured
That's
a police motorcycle with a
one.
sidecar prison cell designed
Sort of an AI prompt. That's a good one. And Nikola Tesla in a boxing match with Thomas Edison.
for transporting prisoners. The 1888 photograph of the graves of a Catholic woman and her Protestant husband, separated by a wall, reflects the religious divides of the time. James Naismith, the inventor of basketball, is seen in a photo holding a basket while demonstrating the game, with his wife holding a ball. Naismith created basketball in 1891 as a way to keep his students active during the winter months at the International YMCA Training School in Springfield, Massachusetts. The simple game he devised quickly grew in popularity, becoming one of the world's most played and watched sports today. In the 1930s, an outdoor barber uses an axe to shave a man's beard, showcasing an unusual method of grooming.
I've seen that. Seen that.
On April 16, 1912, newsboy Ned Parfit was selling copies of the evening paper, which reported the sinking of the Titanic the night before. A scene from the iconic movie The Phantom of the Opera, starring Mary Philbin as Christine Daae. Mary was the most popular name for girls throughout the 1920s. Hachiko, a famous Japanese Akita, waited for his owner, Professor Hidesaburo Ueno, at Shibuya Station for 9 years after Ueno's sudden death. This photograph, taken in 1935, captures the last image of Hachiko, remembered worldwide for his unwavering loyalty.
Yeah, this is just random now. This is random now. So I'm going to show you. The new one. Thomas Edison. Oh, sorry, Nikola Tesla in a boxing match with Thomas Edison. So here we go. Edison, Tesla, all grey-headed and that, lightning all over the place. I like it. I like it. Nice one, Paige. Nice one, PG, but I'm not liking that. Right, I'm going to leave that there. This is an hour and a half already, and it's going off the topic, but some interesting facts, something to watch, guys. Sorry that it wasn't very brilliant, but, it happens. Hits and misses. But there you go. I like that. So let's have a quick look through them. Right, so we got, get rid of me. We got that one. We still got the newest one. We got the that one. Then you got the globe worshippers. Amish hydraulic cart. Sloth hybrid humans. Lefties diving out a plane. Giraffe low rider. Giraffe glow. El Gato Tacos. You got alien tennis. Then we got tonight's topic, the deceased bunnies. And then Tesla and Edison. Go. Anyways, right, I'll leave it there, guys. Love yous, and I'll get this out. Here the sun sets free, which is free. Indeed. Ta-da.